Get your playmat now at lumchopart.com. Hello everybody, welcome back. I have a really fun deck profile for you today that you guys chose this time. So I put up a poll on Twitter, and by popular demand we are going through the Musketeer deck. So I built this with a little bit of help from the internet. So it's a pretty standard build. It's really fun to play. So I think this is probably one of my favorite decks of the format, alongside Eosmon, of course. I am a big fan of Eosmon. This deck's playstyle is a little bit different to like building stacks. It is a lot of option cards and a lot of hard playing cards, which can be kind of strange at first as well. Similar to the Ancient Gundramon deck, we don't play level 5s. Well, I don't play level 5s. You can play level 5s if you want, but this is the build I'm going with. I use card meta to kind of help me build all of these different decks. I saw this, I altered it a little bit myself for my own play style, but I'm finding that this one works for me, and I will be playing it this weekend at our store regional, so I'm super excited for that. I'll let you know how I get on with that anyway. And let's take a look at the deck. For our eggs, we're playing the 4 Digimon and the 1 Tsunamon. I like this ratio because you want to draw a lot of cards in trash when your eggs get deleted, but also Tsunamon paired with Digimon is actually pretty good. So once per turn, when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, trigger draw one. So if you're drawing one, trashing one, then you get to use Tsunamon's effect to trash one, and your Labramons and a few other stuff. So I like this, I think it's good. You're trying to fill up your trash. That is a big goal of the Musketeer deck. Next up, I play 4 of the Sound Birdman. So when attacking, you may trash 1 option card in your hand and gain a memory. That's really, really good for this deck. The synergy with this is amazing. So you want to be trashing some of your option cards so you can try and start bringing the cost of your BL star down. But also, you get to gain a memory, which is really cool. And then this paired with a Digimon or a Tsunamon, like, the card is very good. Next up, I'm playing 4 Labramon. So on play, you just draw a card. That's great because you do want to get a bit of draw power so you can start filling up your trash. But at the same time, you want to be able to stop your opponent, so you need to be starting to see your pieces as well. And he's a good little rookie. Chuck on an egg. Then we're going to play 4 Impman. So this is the BT6 Impman. On play, you may trash 1 card in your hand. If you do, return 1 Digimon card with 7 Great Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers in its type from your trash to your hand. So that's really good. So on play, if you have to trash your 3 Musketeer cards early, you always have a way to get them back, which is really, really good. So you can get back your BL star, you can get back your Gundramon. If you're playing Magnikidmon, you can get him back as well. So it's very good that you're not worried about milling your pieces. Then we play 2 Gazmon. This card is great. So especially with all of the new memory boosts, it stops that, which is very, very cool. It stops blinding rays. It's a good tech card, I find. And it can also, against Gazmon, stop the CL from gaining a memory, stops Pulsemons. So it's a very good tech card, and I'd like to keep it at 2 because you do want to see it, but not too often. Then for the last of the rookies, I play 1 Tapermon. Just on deletion, draw a card. He's very good, and then you can bring him back with Nailbone and then delete him again, and the cycle continues. That's it for rookies. I'm playing 15 rookies because at the start you do want to have some draw power and you do want to have a little bit of memory deprivation, but 15 rookies I find is very good for this deck. Now onto our champions. We have 4 Deputymon. So he's arguably one of the most important champions in the deck. No, he is the most important champion in the deck. I wouldn't have this at any less than 4 because he allows you to digivolve into a Gundramon for 6 or digivolve into your BL Starmon for 6. I know 6 seems like a lot, but it's cheaper than the on-play cost unless you have a lot of options or 3 Musketeers in your trash for BL Star. Also, he's really good for filling up your trash. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type, and or 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 among them to your hand. Trash the remaining cards. So you can add a Musketeer, you can add an option card, and then you trash the rest. You're filling up your trash, which is great. This Digimon can digivolve into a Digimon card with 3 Musketeers in its type from your hand for a memory cost of 6. So he's great. You always want to use his on-play effect to try and get as much in your trash as possible. Not really much else to be said about him. He's a good gun boy. The only other champions I'm playing are the Filemon. So he's just a blocker, and I find he's very good early game just to fend off your opponent until you're able to get all your pieces together and knock them down. This is a control deck. It's not an OTK by any means. It is all about keeping your opponent's board as clear as possible, and I really like that about this deck. So it stops all the really scary monsters, and also your security is always, in my experience, extremely stacked, which is nice. So blocker, yeah, you can play other blockers if you want here. You can play the Devimon if you want instead. It's personal preference. I just like Filemon because he's cheaper and he's got 6000 DP, which is good against a lot of, say, Rookie Rush decks. So we are skipping our level 5s and going straight to Megas. Then our first Mega we play is 4 Gundramon. This card is great. So I've seen some people playing him at 3. I like him at 4. I think he's pretty good because he's good in your trash for making your Bielstar cheap, and he's amazing on board. Usually you would be digivolving your Deputymon into your Gundramon, and then once you do that, when digivolving, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may use 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 among them without paying its memory cost. Trash the remaining cards. If you don't use an option card with this effect, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less. So even if you don't see an option card when you're trashing your cards, you can still delete an opponent's Digimon. And also he's a blocker, so he's a very, very big body on board that a lot of decks, they can deal with him but have to use a lot of resources too. Amazing card. Next up is the best card in the entire deck. We have 4 Starmon. She is your next 3 Musketeers. This card is really bloody good. So when playing this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 1 for each 3 Musketeers Digimon card and option card with a memory cost of 7 in your trash. So you can, usually late game, because you're able to kind of fend people off until the late game, and then you can just play her for free because you play enough option cards and you play enough Musketeers to get her to free, which is awesome. And then on play, return 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 from your trash to your hand. Then use 1 option card with a memory cost of 7 in your hand without paying its memory cost. So you get to return an option card from your trash, but you also get to play one from your hand. So it can be the one you returned, or it can be a different one. And it can be any of the option cards that we play, because we only play 7 cost option cards in this deck. So she is really, really good. And she's a big body on board as well, which is nice. And also, can we just take a second to appreciate the card art? This is the alt and this is the normal art, and both are so beautiful. Moving on to level 7s, we play 2 Omnimon Zwart, so he can go on both the Bielstar and the Gundramon. When digivolving, trash the top 3 cards of your deck. Then you may play up to 2 black and or purple Digimon cards with a play cost of 8 or less from your trash without paying their memory cost. So basically any card except for our Megas can be played from the trash with these. Your blockers if you need blockers on board, your sound Birdmons, if you want extra draw power, your Labramons, you could have your Deputymon as well, which would be amazing. And their on-play effects activate, which is really cool. Then, when attacking, you may return 1 level 6 Digimon card in this Digimon's Digivolution cards to its owner's hand to delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon with a play cost of 12 or less. So when you're attacking, you can get rid of a big body and you get your Bielstar or your Gundramon back in your hand to use again, which is just amazing. This card is great. Then continuing on with the big Omnimon boys, we play 2 Omnimons Worth Defeat. Getting rid of a tamer is insane, and when it comes straight out of your security, that's always nice to see. So there's not much to say about him, but he's a very, very good card. And then on deletion as well, you know, he deletes a dude on board. Then I'm playing one Omnimon Alter S. So it's more of a tech card, and I would be using the other cards more than this one, but I do like to have this. I do like to have this in my deck. When digivolving, trigger D-Digivolve 1 on all of your opponent's Digimon. Then delete all your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP or less. So kind of like a Nidhogg. And then when attacking, you may make this Digimon unblockable for the turn by returning one of its level 6 Digivolution cards to your hand. The unblockable thing is really cool, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is also you still get your level 6 back in your hand. You get your BL Star and you get your Gundramon back in your hand to use again and keep cycling. Then I'm playing the one of Millenniumon. Again, he's another tech card. I find him very good in this deck as well. When digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of their deck. So get rid of a big body on board again. And then on deletion, if this card had Digivolution cards, you may play this card from your trash without playing its memory cost. So when it dies, it just comes back once again, and he's a big body on board. It's nice to have like single stack removal as well. Then on to our options. We play a lot of options. It's always good to have options. We have 4 Fly Bullet. So this is BL Starmon's option card. If you have a Digimon with 3 Musketeers in his type, you don't have to worry about its color requirements. And then delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. Just straight up delete level 6 or lower. That's insane. You get to delete Gazmons, you can delete, I don't know, Hexablow, whatever else is being played. Titamon, is he level 6? Straight up deleting a level 6, and then if this is hidden security, it just activates. So that's awesome. Next up is Gundramon's option card, which is Joltschwarmer. Did I pronounce that okay? If you have a Digimon with 3 Musketeers, again, you ignore its color requirements, but if you have a Deputy Demon out, you can just use it away. Delete all Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. Bye-bye Rookie Rush. This card has saved me so many times. Like, they have a big, if they go wide, anything that costs less than 7 is just dead. And when it hits security, so it doesn't activate its effect straight away, which is kind of sad, but not the worst. It does just get added to your hand, so you can just use it again later on your turn. I then play the Trump Sword at 3. This card has been around for a long time. It's the bane of many people's existence. I love it. So delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. This is good against the Bond of Friendship, especially because they keep on suspending to attack again. So if they hit this in security, it can get quite nasty. I like it. Then we're playing 2 Nailbone. You don't get to use the on-play effects when you bring back a level 4 and a level 3, but it does give you some more bodies on board. You know, you can bring back some blockers and stuff to cycle through again, stuff that dies on deletion, especially like your Tapermon. So the card is very good. Gives some board presence. And then finally, I'm playing the 1 Happy Bullet Showering. Again, 3 Musketeers, you don't have to worry about the color requirements, but it's delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. So if you have, say you're going against Rookie Rush and they have a load of 5000 DP dudes on board, but nothing lower than that, then all of the 5000 DP dudes just get wiped out. So the card is really good. I do only play it at 1 because I prefer the other option cards, but it is a good card to have, and it's great when you hit it in security because it activates the main effect. So you at least get rid of at least 1 on board. And that is it for our deck profile. What did you think of it? I love this deck. I think it's so cool, and I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing it this weekend. I will update you guys on how I got on. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you have a really good day. And I'll see you next time.